David, Parliament's only sitting 40 days this year, or the lower house.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
Yeah, I think Australians would want us to be working hard on the big issues. That's the decision to for the government, how often and how long we sit. I think there's a huge amount to do, and um, yeah, I think we're probably sitting more, but that's pretty easy for someone based in Canberra to say.
Yeah, do you think they're scared of the cold or coming down here a bit?
It is starting to freshen up a bit, but I don't know. I guess it's up to the government. They clearly don't want to work with the old Senate. That's fair enough. But I think the last few years it has been pretty light on, given the huge challenges we're facing and just how hard a lot of Australians are finding it to make ends meet.
And what will you be focusing on this term in the Senate?
I mean, the big things I've been hearing from Canberrans on are housing, cost of living, health, climate, and environment, and then a broad overarching theme of integrity. How do we ensure that politicians are holding themselves to a higher standard?
You've called it part time. Is there a number of days do you think the Australian public would expect you guys to sit for?
It's a bit of a lighthearted jibe, calling it part time, but I guess I think Australians want us to be focusing on the big issues, and there's more that we can and should be doing as a parliament when it comes to things like housing and cost of living. And none of that's going to happen until the end of July.
Andrew Bragg said the coalition's now sort of going to support work from home arrangements. Is that good to see after, I guess, the attacks on the public service from the election?
I think we saw some really disappointing attacks on the public service during the election from Peter Dutton. Made it incredibly hard for local Liberal candidates here in the ACT. But I think more broadly, people want flexibility. They want a conversation with their employer about what works for them in terms of flexibility and working from home when it suits them with family.
There's been already, since the election, two senators switch parties. Jacinta Price went from Nationals to Liberals, and now we've seen Dorinda Cox go from Greens to Labor. As a fellow senator, what do you think of that? Do you think people should stick to the party they're represented, or is it fair enough if people want to change?
Yeah, those are the current rules we have in place, and I think it really highlights that things can change very quickly in the Senate. We saw in the last Parliament the government needing the Greens +1. It ended with the Greens +3 votes to pass legislation that the coalition didn't support. So as it currently sits, it's Labor plus the Greens, but who knows, that could change.
Yeah, as the numbers get tighter, I guess you guys come into play.
Yeah, I think looking at the last Parliament, I think things worked better when the crossbench had balance of power. Sure, things maybe take a bit more time to work through the details, but you end up with more robust, better thought through policy that I think genuinely reflects what more Australians would want.
Excellent. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.